Let's first start with the Yankees. When we left you on Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they had already they hadn't announced it, but it appeared that they had reached agreement with DJ LeMahieu, this 6-year, $90 million contract. That's a big win for the Yankees. The average salary, which is the most important thing from a luxury tax standpoint, and the taxes you have to pay was only $15 million a year. That's why it's the 6 years. He only made $12 million. He made $12 million last year. And he is a heck of a player, maybe the best overall Yankee. And he only got a $3 million raise from this year, but he got the extra couple of years. So the Yankees kept the average salary down, and they gave him more years to get the $90 million. I think all of us felt that, that's not, it's the times. If this was a scenario where money was free-flowing, where we didn't, lose a fortune in the sport, $3 billion, I think that he would have made more than that, but the reality is, and $90 million for LeMahieu. Now, in the meantime, the Yankees, it depends who you listen to and who knows, because you're not looking at every ounce of that book and you're not talking to the folks who have the power to change it. But it seems like that $210 million scenario is, that's a line that the Yankees are not going to cross. That's the luxury tax scenario. And the Yankees right now are about $10 million under that. And if they make a trade in the middle of the year or they bring people up in the minor leagues, that number shrinks. So if that is the case, it sounds like the Yankees, probably can't do a whole heck of a lot as far as adding contracts are concerned after they signed Corey Kluber. They did that on Friday night. They gave Kluber a 1-year, $11 million contract. That's a good bargain. It's a good try. Listen, they're trying to catch the lightning in the bottle. This is a kid who hasn't pitched a lot, 8 games in the last 2 years. What do you have? 1 start last year. I think it's 35 innings. He's had all sorts of injuries. We all know when he's good, A, he's low maintenance, which you love, and B, he'll give you everything he's got, and he's won Cy Youngs. He's pitched in big games. He pitched the Indians to a World Series appearance there in 2016. You wonder what is left in the tank. He threw the ball well there in his little tryout scenario with I think there were 20 teams who went to go visit. Yankees, of course, $11 million. Now, the thing about the Yankees scenario is, it's funny. The Yankees, they gave him $11 million for about 4 starts. Because what Corey does in a regular season doesn't mean a lot. The Yankees are going to be in the postseason. They're going to have an opportunity to win a championship and play for one once October comes around, especially if they add playoff teams. So from that standpoint, the Yankees are going to be there at the end of the year. So the Yankees with Kluber, they need a second starter after Cole. Right now, their second starters, take a pick. Herman, Clark Schmidt, Jordan Montgomery, Garcia, the kid who pitched in Game 2. And they don't have a second starter. Maybe Severino, but who knows? Need a second starter. And so if Kluber can come, give the Yankees what they need in that scenario, you're spending the $11 million on 4 or 5 postseason starts. And for the Yankees who haven't won since 2009, that's 11 or 12 years, which is not a lifetime. But for the Yankees, it is. And I don't think they've even been to a World Series. And they haven't since 2009. That is significant. So they brought Kluber in. They do what they have to do to get him through the regular season. He'll make his 20, 22, 25 starts and try to keep him fresh for the 4 or 5 starts that he's going to have to make in big scenarios there in the month of October. So the Yankees pay him $11 million, hopefully that he will be okay come October. It's a good move. You can't argue with it whatsoever because there's a very, very high reward if he's healthy. At the end of the day, he's going to be a big pitcher for him in the most important games that they play, because the Yankees are all about winning championships, not about winning 90 games. And Kluber doesn't have to go crazy to help him do that, but he does have to help him go crazy there in the month of October. And I think the Yankees, they say, you know what? 1 year, it's $11 million. We need somebody capture a little lightning in a bottle. That's a very, very good move. I don't have any problems with the Yankees there making a move in that scenario. The Yankees could use Castillo. He, of course, the Reds, that's the sort of move that Brian Cashman would love to make. Now, the Reds general manager said that there's nothing going on with the Yankees. We are not trading Castillo to New York. This is after a John Heyman report said that the Reds asked for Gleyber Torres, and I'm sure the Yankees hung up the phone. Although, to be fair, that is a very fair trade. To be fair. There's no argument. Castillo, he's a pitcher, so you never know if they stay healthy, but Castillo is every bit as good as Gleyber Torres is as a hitter, especially after this past year when Torres was not good and he can't play shortstop. So he's an average shortstop. So from that standpoint, I think that is fair. The Yankees understand that because you like the everyday player, because he's going to give you 140, 150 games. The pitcher may not necessarily do so. They're about equal. I'm sure I have to look at where they are as far as the salary calendar is concerned, but I certainly understand the Yankees saying no, and I certainly understand the Reds asking for Torres if you want Castillo, which makes you think that the Reds at the end of the day, thank God, Nick Crow, the general manager, that they're not going to trade Castillo. They'd be nuts if they did that. And I even think the same with Sonny Gray. If you can't keep those two in your team, then what's the point of playing? I mean, geez, two pitchers, very young, both young, both good, and both inexpensive. If you can't keep those guys in your team, I mean, what's the point? But the bottom line is that right now, that trade's not going to happen. So back to the Yankees for a sec. You know, LeMahieu plays second. They're fine offensively. All right, a little too much swing and miss. You know, building runs in big spots. We understand that, but they have a very good offensive team. With the aforementioned Torres, LeMahieu is an excellent player. Voit, not going to fall apart. Judge, you know, if he stays healthy. Stanton, if he stays healthy. Third baseman's good. I mean, Torres is good. I mean, Sanchez has to be a little better. I mean, the Yankees are going to score enough runs against the horrendous starting pitching, and they are going to, you know, bash their way to 95 wins in their sleep. The Yankees are going to do that. The Yankee issue is what they're going to do in the month of October. And we all know that good pitching stops good hitting. Happened last year at Tampa. And the Yankees starters there after Cole were very spotty. They had to use their bullpen too much. Chapman's not as good. There might be a little de-emphasis of the bullpen now. From a Yankee perspective, the Yankee bullpen in 2019 was awful in the Houston series. It hurt them last year too. No Canely as well. So the Yankees want to say, well, we need a starter to give us more innings. If Kluber is healthy come October, that's a good move, the $11 million. That's a wait-and-see proposition, but it's worth the risk. That's the moves the Yankees have made. The Yankees now sort of back at it as far as the sport is concerned. And LeMahieu was a no-brainer. You knew the Yankees were going to sign him, and Kluber's a good risk. Here's